the reason that this that I'm talking about and that I'll get back to in a second has hated me from the beginning, not just because I have a stage name, because I have the actual charisma to carry a stage name. Chappelle has this beautiful quote in one of his comedy specials, and he describes the situation and how, if we're going to be honest, and we have to talk about the women that were okay with what was going on, that allowed the to happen to the women that weren't okay with it. David Lucas makes the joke to the crowd. Some niggas heckling him, and then he brings up. Do you remember how it went?
He said something about if he kneeled on his neck, he wouldn't kneel on him. He'll just something like that.
And then the whole crowd gasped. The crowd is majority white people, so most of them weren't offended. And then pretty much slowly throughout the rest of the video, all the black people walk up in groups, like in separate groups, and walk out of the show. I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10, and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So like, if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.
Hey yo, it's Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5. Welcome to the show where we talk about life, talk about the come up, and sometimes we fight. But in the end, it ain't a thing, cause we ain't trying to be right. We're just old new niggas with another podcast. This is season 5, episode 4. If you wanna hear some more, then go shut the door. I'm not a rapper, I'm a fucking comedian, bitch. If you wanna hear the truth, then stay tuned. We getting lit.
That was all right. I'm not a rapper, nigga. This is a podcast about comedy. What the fuck?
This is Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5.
See? I told you. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Black Zeus, the podcast. I'm fucking up the carpet behind me. Give me a second. All right, there we go. Oh my God, I'm knocking my water over. See, this is what happens when I choose not to smoke weed on the show itself, but instead decide to get high before. You know? It's like, yo, the opening of the show will be smooth, but then I'll get high throughout the show, and it'll be what? See? I'm keeping it in. I don't even think this makes a difference. Why did I even turn that out? Can you even notice what I just did if you're watching this? I don't think you'll notice. But maybe now? Maybe now? Why am I... Fuck, nigga, I'm high as shit. Maybe now? What, I revert to like a 13? Maybe now? My balls just dropped, nigga. Hey, yo, what's going on, beautiful people? It's Black Zeus, the podcast. Yeah. This is season 5, episode 4. What's up? Yo, what's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, Black Zeus. We are back in the studio here to talk about comedy. My comedy come up, comedy news. We'll do some poll results. We might talk about UFC if there's time. We might talk about that white black bitch. We might talk about neck. But this is it. This is Black Zeus, the podcast. This is season 5, episode 4. I've said that I think 2 or 3 times. I'm smoking indicas right now, so I'll repeat myself a couple more times. You know what I'm saying? But this is the place. This is my side companion, my side bitch to my comedy career, where weekly we do the comedy recaps and shit. And you guys have been joining, you know what I mean? So I want to take a second to big up the youth them. Big up all the beautiful people that have been subscribing, leaving comments, whether they're positive or negative. We don't give a fuck, nigga. The fact that you're even leaving comments means that we're doing something right. And a lot of them are fucking negative, which is beautiful, because like y'all niggas need, what do they call it on the internet? Have you subscribed? Have you considered BetterHelp? Hi, would you like to talk to an unlicensed professional online for $20 an hour and give them all your intimate secrets? And then they will just help you to stay exactly in the same place that you are. Seek BetterHelp. They will never sponsor this show if they... Y'all niggas need therapy for real, bruh. But whatever. If you want to hate in the comments, do it, nigga. That's what makes you happy. That's what floats your boat. You obviously ain't getting no pussy or dick. So whatever, brah. To the people that have been actually leaving love and like, the percentage is like 7-1 negative comments to love, but that's a good thing. I'm a comedian, nigga, so I know that this is a good thing. You don't want everybody in the audience loving you. But yeah, the people that actually do leave positive comments, y'all are actually some healthy ass people. Because it takes a lot. Most people that view your shit positively, they won't do anything. And that's fine also. They won't like, they won't subscribe, they won't leave a comment, whatever. But yo, this is why I don't get mad. Because I'm just like y'all, nigga. I'm a person, bruh. I scroll high as fuck and I enjoy shit and then I forget to hit the like button or I forget to leave a comment or whatever. So that's why we have a statement here. A statement here. We have a phrase that we like to say on this channel. We got talent and patience on this bitch. So if you like us, eventually you'll continue to see us and then you'll just remember to do that. You're like, I want these niggas in my feed. Subscribe, like, comment, the fucking notification, all that horse shit that everybody's like, please just subscribe. You know how much the likes, oh my God. Yeah. The fucking likes, they help. You guys know it. You're the backbone, yo. You're the backbone of this fucking community, bruh. And we're like fucking, yeah. The fuck, bro? You're not such a fake place. I'm just gonna continue to be myself, but just do it online. Which, trust me, we're gonna get to this episode on the comedy recap. There's plenty of hate for me in the actual comedy community itself. So like what? That I wouldn't expect that on the internet, my nigga? On the motherfucking internet? Where at least these goons in the goddamn comedy game, they have to see me face to face. I respect that more than fucking the keyboard warrior. You're boring. You're boring. The nigga's saying that while he has Cheeto dust on his goddamn boxers, my nigga. What's that? I want to pull up that goddamn, what's his name? I play basketball. Chuck, what the fuck is his goddamn name? Chuck something. Chuck, god damn it. Is it gonna bother me, nigga? Why can't I remember? Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and then Chuck. And then Chuck, nigga Chuck, why can't I remember this? Charles Barkley, woo! That weed is good, baby. That weed is good. Okay, first of all, Jamal, you a cashier. Shit. Anyways, before I go too crazy, let me do a couple fucking promos real quick for comedy shows because, that's the thing that I'm supposed to do. This episode airs, look, I'm even remembering. This episode will air on the 21st. So that means I only got to promote like a couple of shows. Shit. I could have been promoting shows all month. But this airs the 21st. On the 22nd, the day after this episode airs, I will be at Comedy Bar in Toronto, West End, for All Out Comedy. The 23rd, I will be in Hamilton, Ontario at the Staircase Theatre where I started comedy for Smooth Comedy. At the 24th, I'm doing something else, but I wrote it differently here. And the Corner Comedy Club, the 25th and the 29th, both at 10 p.m. shows. That's it for right now. I'll probably be at another couple clubs that I haven't booked yet, but that's how the game goes. And we keep this motherfucking show rolling. So we got to do something we do every week here. We're a little occult in this podcast. R.I.P. Brother Panic. I might have to censor this. No, why the fuck would I? Hotepper? Huh? You bitch ass Hotep. What fucking Haru El Bey? Anyways, we got to summon the best producer in the game into the studio so that we can run the rest of the show proper. And by doing so, I mean, this nigga's so good at producing shows that he's on this podcast with a comedian that's been doing it for 13 years that nobody knows, nigga. But he is that good. And so am I. It's just a matter of time before y'all figure it out. Right now, most people think I have an ego, but it is what it is. You could think whatever you you want to think. But let's do this real quick. Summon a nigga. Ladies and gentlemen, Dante's in the studio.
Most people don't know about ankle watch, nigger.
Oh, we dropped the hard R, Hotepper. What's going on, my guy?
Not much. Blessed and highly favored.
I didn't even ask you how you're doing.
You said, what's up?
I said, what's up? I don't know. That's not where you dropped that. I say what's up. You say nothing. I say how you living. You say blessed and highly favored. It's a thing that we've been doing for 50 episodes.
I'm doing good. How about you?
Dante's in the studio. Hey, what's up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing blessed. How you living, bro?
Blessed and highly favored.
What's crazy is that you're not smoking weed, but you're right there on the same page, nigger. We're Black algorithm before you try and fucking censor us or whatever the fuck. It's Black History Month also, so go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, we should be boosted for that.
Yeah, we should be. Actually, we should be boosted for that. Yo, what's up, Google? What's up, Alphabet Corp? That's the parent company, right?
I think so.
I think so. All right, now we're definitely getting shadow banned. You been doing anything? You been up to anything? You see anything?
Shooting shows.
All right. How's that been?
It's been good. It's
good shows?
Yeah, good shows. It's been fun. What else have I been doing?
Well, if you have to think about it, it hasn't been enjoyable or exciting.
Oh, I went to Black Film Festival.
All right. For Black History Month?
Yeah. Well, it was just the Black Film Festival that happens to be in February.
Well, when else would they have it? This is the best chance of getting some money.
Yeah.
Yo, this Black History Month, we're putting on a festival. Oh, please.
But this
we
is their
have
12th
funding
one.
for that this month only.
This is their 12th one. They've done it 12 times, so.
Like throughout the year?
No, like
12 years.
Yeah.
Always in February?
I don't know. This is my first time ever hearing about it.
Fair enough. Well, how was it?
It was
How
good.
many films did you see?
I didn't see any films.
I almost shot this drink across the fucking... You went to a film festival, didn't watch any films?
Yeah, because I went...
Would you just go to pick up girls?
No.
Lies. Lies.
No, I went... So I've been working with this guy who's pretty, like...
Gay. Well, if you didn't go for girls and you went with a guy, what's going on?
I went with a guy, but he's he's in the industry, right? So he's like...
Oh, so this is definitely gay. I'm fucking with you, nigga. I'm sorry, bro. I'm the worst.
But so we went, and then we're just talking to people, and just talking to people in the industry, and then we dipped.
Okay, but networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we were in the VIP area. That was pretty sick.
Did you pay to get in?
Nope.
All right, bless.
This
And
guy's
highly
connected,
favored.
bro.
Connected. Got me into the Black Film Festival.
This guy got me.
Do you not want to like give away?
No, because
but you paused there for a second.
Yeah, I had to think. No,
Can I say this?
he was the one that got me backstage to see Chris Tucker.
Oh, fire. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you film anything that night?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting.
I'll show you after.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure you can. Like, did you film Chris Tucker's set or some shit?
No, like my phone was locked away, but I filmed behind the scenes stuff and.
See, that's fire, bro.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, yeah, I want to check that shit out. Are you sure you want to be saying this out loud though? Because he did come on and say he was on that plane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Shamona.
That's why I paused earlier.
I don't even. That's hilarious. Yo, I really wonder though. We're not gonna get too crazy into this, but like when they say that like Chris Tucker was on the island and like who was that supermodel and shit?
Oh,
Naomi Campbell.
yes, Naomi.
Stuff like this.
Yes.
When you hear Chris's story, like, so I looked into it. The story of what happened there was apparently Chris was like, oh, he was on the plane. Again, I don't know if this is real or not, but apparently they went on that specific plane to do some humanitarian shit, which sounds crazy. But it was apparently like, I'm probably wrong, but my gut says I remember reading it was Clinton and like Bill Clinton and like Chris Tucker, of course, and whatever the fuck they were using that plane to go do some humanitarian shit in Africa or some shit like this.
Oh, so the list was just for that particular plane.
So that list is like a manifesto or flight log of who's been on the plane.
That particular plane.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So
yeah,
it's like. It was odd to me how comfortable Chris was just like, yeah, I was like, did you see that clip where he was asked? He's like, so it says you were on this list?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was in the audience and the guy's like, talk about the list.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So I wonder, bro. I would imagine, I don't know, bro. It's whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker, but doesn't seem like that guy. But who seems like that guy? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know.
You never know till you know. But
Exactly.
when I met him, I will say I met him. He was a cool guy. I'll give him that.
You might have to strike that from the record in like 5-6 years or something. Just be prepared. This just in: Chris Tucker, pedophile, and Dante was with him. No, that was a joke. Algorithm, that was a joke. Chris Tucker not alleged of being that.
No, he was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he seems like a cool.
Yeah,
seems like a cool nigga, but a nigga that doesn't want you to smoke weed or sit around him.
Yeah,
so I don't know if I would be around him. I'm like, yo, I believe in God too, bro.
Yeah, he's very
catch me sparking this fucking dub up, bro. Why don't you hit this blunt with me, bro?
Smoky.
Let's talk about God, nigga. What you better than me, nigga? What you got better than my God, nigga? Oh shit, no, that got crazy. But anyways, let's do what we normally do and recap comedy. Once again, this podcast, Black Zeus the podcast, is my side bitch to the comedy career that I have been cultivating for 13 years. I just hit that point where, you know what, I'm like, yo, let's just start from where the recap is, because I feel like I'm gonna spiral down a fucking diatribe today. I can feel it. Had some fire shows this past week. The week isn't even wrapped up. We're recording earlier than normal today. That was disgusting, by the way. If that comes through on the mic, I'm gonna punch you. Like I'm just gonna be listening to that with headphones in, and it's just your fucking neck crack, fucking 5 different ways, nigga. Go get a chiropractor, my nigga.
Those are a scam.
Those are a scam, actually, because they would have just paid you, they would have just charged you for what you just did to yourself right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I got smokes and jokes tonight, so we'll recap that next week, and I got the corner on Sunday, so we'll recap that next week. But I had a show this past week, a Valentine's Day show. It was great. The show went amazing. I hosted. It was like at an unconventional spot. You know what I mean? It's like a big. I don't want to go too heavy into details because, like, I'm going to talk about my experiences coming up in the comedy game with a specific comedian. I'm not even going to mention this comedian's name because they're worthless to me.
Okay.
But like to give context to the story, like I'm so grateful that I'm at a place now, 13 years in. You know what I mean? Where when I'm encountering people that used to. They still do, but used to give me complete grief and just disrespect. But like I wasn't at a place of confidence enough in the game that I handled myself, not even just in comedy, but as a fucking man, nigga. Like, and not even on some ego shit, but as a fucking like puff my chest out type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, it's crazy because I grew up fighting. I grew up very aggressive and shit. But once I really kind of calmed that down is when I started doing comedy. So the niggas in comedy, when they met me, they met a much different version of the guy that I was literally like months before they had met me. Like the way I even finally said, fuck it, like I'm going to give myself the shot at comedy, which had been a thing in my life my entire. Go watch my documentary. It's on the YouTube channel right now, Black Zeus Self-Portrait, the documentary. If you like it, hit the like button or whatever. My comedy special is out right now. If you would like to buy that, it's $10. But I will be releasing it for free once the YouTube channel hits 1,000 subscribers. So again, we're not begging you, but if you like this shit, you want to watch a comedian give an honest, genuine look into what it is to be a comedian on the come up this day and age, then this is the channel for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go watch that documentary. It's free right now. Again, once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we will release the comedy special for free on YouTube. You can buy it right now for $10 on my Patreon. You can subscribe to the Patreon if you want to support. It's going to be a while till we build that up, but bruh, like nigga, I've been doing comedy for 13 years. Nobody knows me, and I'm a G at comedy. Like nobody knows me out there, like here in the fucking YouTube space and like in the States and where it really matters. Like, but I've done what I need to do. I've gotten really funny in the comedy dojo that is Canada. But I've maxed that shit out, and you're about to hear a story of some of my grief on the come up. So I did this Valentine's Day show. The show was amazing. Unfortunately, it was Toronto, so it wasn't even necessarily the traffic. Like I'd never been to this parking like area before, so I was like almost kind of lost. It was fucking massive. I was literally 1 to 2 minutes past the time that I was to be there.
Okay.
Like literally I'm walking in and it's a minute past. But I'd already been in contact with the producer, let him know I'm around the corner. Like it's all good. I'm on this show. Again, I'm hosting, so I'm not doing a set. I'm setting up the comedians to have the best set that they can have. And I'm a professional. So like I'm not, even though I know going into the show that one of the comics on the show is someone I don't fuck with and who very much doesn't fuck with me. Like I'm not going in with the expectation of, oh, it's going to be a bad time. Like at this point, I'm still in the scene. They're still in the scene. We run into each other all the time. And it's still very much like, it's like cordial disrespect. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I'll get into the backstory in a second, but I show up to the show and fucking running from around the corner is this fat fuck breathing heavy and just like fucking throwing at his hand like a watch and just like talking down to me like I'm a fucking child, bro. Like and obviously if you're watching this, like I have a stage name. Black Zeus is my stage name. It's not my real name. If you want to find out what my real name is, it's out there somewhere. I'm gonna make you do the investigative work. It's not that important either. It's not like I'm fucking hiding a secret. But at the same time, it's like my MF Doom shit, nigga. The Black Zeus is my mask. You go figure it out. If you really are that interested, then do the work and then you'll be rewarded with really something that's not that interesting. But I have been using my stage name Black Zeus from day one. All right, and there's many reasons that I decided that. From the jump. I was also naive 13 years ago. I didn't realize is like, oh, like I realized that nobody was using stage names, but I didn't realize how fucking dumb that is. Like, you know, like especially Black Zeus. Again, I had my reasons. I wanted to big up my heritage. Like I'm an Ethiopian fully. I was born in Greece and then I was raised in Canada. Like it's enough of a swerve on its own. But I'm a weirdo nigga. I like all the vaudeville shit. I grew up on old school comedy first. So I wanted to also kind of pay homage to that. That's why I have a stage name on top of that. And there's still people that have them. But what I didn't realize when I started was that, okay, I'm starting out in the game of comedy. And I immediately know that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. All right. So from the first set, what I didn't realize is like, okay, I'm now a new comic in this scene. People are going to perceive me to be a new guy, which they'll probably think will fizzle out because that's what you think of most people. They'll be here for a year or whatever the fuck, and then they'll be gone. And if not that, then you'll just be a bad comic until you're not, you know? And to what level you're not is varying. Thankfully, I'm me, so it's a very not bad comic. So I didn't realize on top of like that perception of just being a bad comic, like the perception that I added of having a stage name as goofy as fucking Black Zeus on top of that, like no one really felt a way except two people, bro. Like outwardly. Cause like there's another thing I'll kind of get into here. Obviously I've been promoting myself, like maybe not necessarily on the podcast that much. But in the comedy game, if you look at my social media and shit, if you look at the YouTube channel, the tagline for all my socials is the stand-up comedy villain. And this is kind of the persona I've decided to fucking take on. Because here's a fucking pro tip. You guys are dumb as fuck if you're sitting here thinking, especially, and this is mostly to the comedy community. So like, if you fucking are judging me based off an online character versus how we actually communicate and I treat you in person, then you're fucking delusional and it doesn't matter what you think at all. You know what I mean? But what's sort of started to happen, because what I realized is, oh, okay, everybody who's successful in the online social media platforms takes on some sort of persona or personality that is extra on top of their comedy shit. And I don't necessarily want to do that. I tried making skits here and there. You can go look it up, bro. I was in a sketch troupe at the beginning of my comedy career. It's awful. You know what I mean? Like I'm proud of it, but it's awful, you know? And it's not even awful, but it's awful.
Yeah, that detective skit.
Yo, go fuck yourself, nigga. I'll pull that shit up right now. No, I won't. But maybe next week we'll watch that shit. Or maybe I'll put it at the beginning of this episode or something. What was I even saying? The fuck?
About the guy, and then so like
no, the stand-up comedy
the
villain.
Shit. Yeah.
So the villain persona is pretty much what I've decided to take on as my online social persona. It does not obviously negate who I am as a person. I'm not a negative person overall. Everybody who knows me will attest to that. The reason that this fat fuck that I'm talking about, and that I'll get back to in a second, has hated me from the beginning, not just because I have a stage name, because I have the actual charisma to carry a stage name. This fat, like, bruh, it's crazy. Like, bro, these guys, literally the disrespect they would show me from day one is like, sabotage my sets, bring me up on stage as my actual name. The audience has no clue what the fuck they're experiencing, but these guys would literally like try and pull some bully tactics and be like, coming up to the stage and then look away from the audience and look at me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And say, literally with a fucking goofy, nerdy white voice. Like, and I know it's bullet, bro. These people are so sad inside because when I first encountered them, I was still going through the motions of like, bro, I've existed in a very harsh life, you know? And this isn't a boo-hoo story. This is my own personal story. It's not to make you cry or to give sympathy or whatever the fuck. It's just what it is. Like, I literally had homies die in my life for me to realize, fuck, I got to get away from this life and do what's actually in my heart. And that's when I started comedy and all that shit. Like, people don't get this because once I entered comedy, here's another thing, bro. A lot of niggas, and in comedy, it might be condensed because the scene is just like, it's a smaller scene. There's less opportunity. So it's a lot more like fuckery, bro. In the States, there's a bigger audience. There's more stages. There's less need to shank niggas on the way up. Okay? So I'll just put it that way. But when I was coming up, bro, fuck, I lost my place again. Damn.
The people that were there in the beginning, they were
I love you, bro. Thank you. And this is why I'm not smoking weed on this episode, because I knew if I did, it'd be a lot of niggas that get into the comedy game are fucking loners, bruh. Loners. I don't even want to say necessarily losers. A lot of people have no community and they're looking for a community. And they're like, oh, I'm funny, or I like to tell rape jokes, or I like to tell fucking dumb, fucking stupid, meaningless shit. Because a lot of it is like, there's a stigma that comics are depressed and sad and all this shit. It's like, well, like, I started to see why this stigma comes around. Because it's a lot of people, it's a lot of loners looking for community. And then they join a community where they big each other up, but they don't have talent. They literally just big each other up. Because if it really was about talent, bro, there would be no room for fuckery. There would be no room for like this lower level mentality shit. It's a lot of sadness. Like, because you come in young. It's a lot of sex, drugs, rock and roll. It's a lot of looking for community. And then you build community off of sex, drugs, rock and roll. And then you start to come up. And then a couple of you get really good. So then the ones that get really good are now propping up the rest of the group. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're bringing them on road. They're fucking opening for the ones that are getting really good and shit. And then potentially you have a situation like where Cat Williams is like, why would I go on Joe Rogan? He has 6 unfunny comedians he's trying to promote, which a lot of people say is like a lot of the guys he put. Look at fucking Brendan Schaub, bro. The whole reason that nigga started comedy is because his friend said, yo, you're funny. You're a funny guy. You should do that. No, like, fuck that. That's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of yes manning, bro. And I don't even want to like Rogan's a guy, you know, but Schaub is not a comedian, bro. You try and watch that 1 hour, 20-minute special. And I don't mean that it's 1 hour and 20 minutes. I mean, it's a 1 hour comedy special that he edited down to 20 minutes because that was all that was, like, I'll just say palatable. And even that, I tried to make it through, bruh. So it's a lot of that, bro. It's a lot of Brendan Schaubs out here that are bigging each other up. So I never was about that already coming into the game. I was at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, I got to figure my shit out. I got to be honest with myself. I got to rid myself of all this bullshit that's not really serving me a higher purpose. Comedy has been there my entire life. I've always been drawn to comedy. I was watching Carlin at age 10 and shit. Like, why aren't I giving this a go? And then I had a situation in my life that gave me some downtime, and then boom, I started improv, and I'm like, improv is all right, but it's not it. And then I got on mic, and I never looked back. But in the come up, in my 13 years, like, because I was switching out comedy, especially like in the city that I came up in, Hamilton, it's like a blue collar town. You know what I mean? So a lot of blue collar guys, white dudes out the wazoo, a lot of weird fuckery. You know what I mean? And I was with the shit for a while. I was around. I was doing the things that I was supposed to do. I was doing the sex, drugs, rock and roll, bro. I was partying with the guys because I thought that's what I had to do. But again, I'm coming out of a personal situation in life where my homie died. For me to realize is like, oh, I gotta actually go down a different path. And then for me to start comedy, you know? So I'm actually in the phase of character building and actual like straightening my back out and having a spine and puffing my chest out and becoming the man that I am right now. Like I was very much on that path. So over time, I just started to click out of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And that was the majority of the scene when I started, okay? 13 years ago, the Canadian comedy scene was much smaller than what it is right now. And before I started, it was even smaller, you know? But since the advent of social media, everybody's a fucking comedian now. And the scene actually for a lot, in a lot of ways is a lot healthier.
Okay.
And I'll explain this in a minute. But me trying to pivot out of being a negative person, fighting and all this shit, I'm like, yo, fuck it, bro. Why am I fighting my nature? Why am I going against the positive person that I've always been? Oh, I know, because it always got me taken advantage of. Let me correct that. Why do I always want to fight? Oh, because I got all this anger. Why? Let me correct that. And as I started to do that, I just started to see how everybody around me is just unhealthy as fuck. And nobody really wants to fucking sit around and talk about getting better and all that shit. And I'm not a fucking guru or any of that shit. As much as my friends love to listen to me talk about progressing and stuff. Like literally my friends will stop and listen to me like I was a school teacher. But nobody actually wants to do that work themselves. It's tough, you know? And for me, it came by force. It came through death. It came through literal death, you know? And even another incident. So I'm not even sure that just my friend dying would be the thing. Because before that happened, something else happened that really catapulted me into the comedy thing. Like I had already started comedy by the time my friend died. What had triggered all those events, like pulled me out of the life that I was living and the people that I was around, you know? I grew up in a single black mother household, but statistically, I'm supposed to either be a thug or gay, my nigga, and I'm a comedian. I made it out. I made it the fuck out. All right? Like I fucking went down that thuggish, it's the thuggish ruggish bar. Ice JJ Fish up in this bitch. It's the thuggish ruggish bar. Like, so I just didn't have time. Around 5-6 years in to comedy, 7 years in, I started to really click out. I'm like, yo, all these people, and there was distinct moments, like when I moved to Toronto, all the niggas that I came up with, you think any of them called me? You think any of them fucking reached out like we were actually real homies? Fuck no. Fuck no. Maybe one or two of them. Maybe one or two.
Like
of
the
them.
ones that were initially
the ones that were in my clique.
Yeah.
The ones that I came up with. Bro, I can't like the whole idea of my persona being the villain is I got my nuts dragged, nigga. Like Chappelle has this beautiful quote in one of his comedy specials where he talks about, I think it was actually in Bird Revelation, the one that I'm always bigging up, the one where it's just in the belly room of the comedy store and he's sitting on a stool and it's mostly like stories of why he got out of the game, like when he turned down that 50 mil and all that shit. And he's talking about the book Pimp by Iceberg Slim.
One lady said, Louis C.K. masturbating in front of me ruined my comedy dreams. Word? Well, then I dare say, madam, you may have never had a dream. Come on, man, that's a brittle spirit.
Some people just aren't built for it, bro. Like some people really just aren't built for it. How bad do you want what you want? You know what I mean? Some of those women that went through that Weinstein operation wanted the success that they wanted bad enough to be okay with dealing with that situation. That's kind of where he was coming at. You know what I mean?
I know it sounds fucked up. I'm not supposed to say that, but one of these ladies was like, Louis C.K. was masturbating while I was on the phone with him. Bitch, you don't know how to hang up a phone? How the fuck are you going to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams?
Like it's a fucked up game. And I knew how fucked up Hollywood was and showbiz was before I even joined comedy because I'd been listening to niggas like Chappelle like I studied the game, bro. When I say I grew up on comedy, like I grew up not just watching comedy specials. Like what these niggas are literally philosophers to me. At least the ones that I look up to. I got Patrice on the wall here, George Carlin, Chappelle growing up, his Inside the Actor Studio, his conversation with Maya Angelou. Like go watch that shit because it's just dropping gems and it's more in talking about the industry. Like I learned a lot. Those Opie and Anthony tapes where Patrice is on. He dropped so much gems on how he circumvented the game and how essentially anytime you take a favor, you owe. You know what I mean? And the bigger the favor you take in this game, the bigger the ask that you owe in return. All this type of shit, it kind of set me up mentally. I'm like, okay, I already know that the game is dirty. And I set my price going in. I'm like, I'm not willing to sell my soul for what? For fame? That doesn't even make sense. Let's figure this shit out. And when I'm talking about having a brittle spirit, like nothing will shake me now. In the 13 years, like you think some YouTube comments are gonna fuck with me, bro? Literally in the 13 years that I've been coming up as a comedian in Canada, I've had people that were quote unquote friends over and over repeatedly walk damn near nose to my face and call me nigger to my face. These are people that controlled my booking and opportunities. These are people that controlled my showcase opportunities and shit like this. And then they have the audacity to be like, why don't you come perform my club? Like, you're fucking retarded. You're actually retarded. This is what I'm saying. It's so delusional and filled with morons and hypocrites that they birthed the villain, bro. Like, the whole reason that I exist as I do today is not because because other people don't need to come up behind some hidden knowledge shit. I'm gonna let you know exactly. There's fucking losers out here that will just call you nigger to your face. Do you want to be a comedian or entertainer? Like, how bad do you want it? Because I brushed past that shit. Because I don't have a brittle spirit. That white nigga has a brittle ass spirit that he needs to try and shake me out. Because that's all they do. This motherfucker that I did the Valentine's Day show with, who's been hating on the fact that I have a stage name from day one, that's been disrespecting me, calling me my name over and over, like literally ganging up with other comics to just disrespect me to my face on stage. Like, bro, for this motherfucker to walk up to me like he's my fucking dad at a comedy show the other day and trying to fucking rile me up, because that is what he was trying to do, because they've done this in the past and it's worked. This is why I'm grateful. Alhamdulillah. Bro, I am that I am, my nigga. You can't shake me, you bitch ass niggas. You're fucking weak bitches. Weak bitches, bro. They try and shake you loose because they see something in you that they don't have. And guess what? He wasn't able to shake me. You know what I did? I walked right up to the producer. I said, I'm sorry. I know we were in communication. It's all good. She's like, that's good. Thank you. I need you to go up there right now. You know what I did? I went up there right now and I fucking murdered. And that bitch ass fat white boy sat in the back and watched the whole time waiting for me to fuck up. Or, because this is what they have done to me, and you know how a cheater does. A cheater expects other people to cheat them. So as they have brought me up on stage in the past to some fuckery, he was waiting for me to bring him up to some fuckery. Because guess what I did as I'm walking in? And he snapped, bro. I know he did. Because he's like, why are you mad at me? Bro, I treated this guy like a fucking bitch. I'm like, don't fucking talk to me like that, bro. Who the fuck? Are we fucking friends? He's like, bro, why are you mad at me? Now he's trying to play all fucking coy. I'm like, I'm not mad at you, but are we fucking friends? And he shut his fucking fat ass up. Go hook yourself up to your sleep apnea machine, you fat fuck, breathing all heavy and shit. Fucking garbage human beings out here try to fucking rile you up, nigga. Like, it's crazy. You try, like that's what I'm talking about. You have to be stronger than that. And now I'm actually vocal about it in my community. I have become the villain so that other niggas don't have to fucking... People really switched up, you know? But the people that are switching up on me on this villain shit are the people that have been talking shit about me. Why do I give a fuck? For 13 years, nigga. I just ran into a comic a month and a half ago, and I gave him the same energy I've been giving him from day one. And it was... I dap him up and we crack a joke together. We smile together. It's all love, bro, because that's who I am. And once I entered comedy, that's 100% who I was, even though I was still fucking straightening out my fucking spine, puffing my chest out, because nice guys get trampled on. But that's not the case if you have a fucking spine, nigga. Just because you're a nice person doesn't mean you need to let people call you nigger to your face, bruh. And I feel bad for the younger version of myself that had to tolerate that, but also the version of me right now is stronger because of that. Because I didn't fucking fold or crumple, and I didn't give these guys what they wanted, which was my out, my exit, or me to switch up and go by my real name, nigga. I believed in myself from fucking day one. I had these dreadlocks for 11 years. Bro, and I looked goofy for 2 years. Everybody cracked jokes. Everybody said, you look dumb. Why'd you do that? Da 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 da. But I saw in the mirror what they are now. And now everybody's like, please, can I touch your hair? Oh, it's so beautiful. Is it yours? Bro, I will fuck your mom, bro. Get the fuck away from me. I will fuck your mom with these beautiful dreads. I'll fucking dangle them in her face. Oh my God, and mesmerize her. And watch, yeah. These fucking bitches, bro. So I run into a comic a month and a half ago, and we're dapping each other up, and I'm giving them the same energy. And because I haven't switched up, they have no reason to put dirt on my name, especially now. Before they would talk shit about, because I was outside of the scene. I was always a nigga just on the outside. Like when I was coming up in comedy, I wasn't fully in the Toronto scene. I was just outside of it. So the niggas in the Toronto scene didn't fully embrace me because I wasn't there often enough. You know what I mean? And then I had a goofy stage name and I was a bad comic. So I understand shit talking, bro. Like even I was at a point where I was gossiping, but if you're at a point where you're gossiping, that says a lot about you mentally, bro. If you got to sit around a room and fucking talk about people that aren't in that room, and then the room interchanges, meaning other people now are in the room and that person you were just talking shit about is in the room, but other people aren't. So now you're talking about shit about them that aren't in the, like you're pathetic, bro. Go fix yourself, you fucking weird losers, bro. Dante, I'm sorry you haven't said a goddamn word. I told you. Don't even worry about this episode. I got it on lock, nigga. Like, I run into this comic. We're having a good moment. And then he looks at me in my eyes and he's like, you know what, bro? I'm sorry, man. Because we treated you like shit all those years. And I just looked at him. I'm like, I know. Because I knew it. I just wasn't fucking bold enough to stand on business, nigga. And guess what? I'm as funny or funnier than a lot of these bitch ass niggas that are telling the same jokes, that haven't progressed at all, that are worried about this gossip bullshit, that aren't focused on getting out of here, nigga. Because, bro, Canada is small potatoes. This shit means nothing. This shit is a training ground, and I'm looking to get the fuck out of here, bro. I got my black belt with stripes, nigga. I gotta worry about these fat fucks that can barely breathe trying to throw me off my game. You disrespectful pieces of shit. The villain exists because of the fucking community around me that existed when I was coming up that decided we're not going to embrace this nigga. We're going to talk shit about him. And then, 13 years later, this guy's actually really good and he's not leaving. I guess we should treat him good. I guess we should shake his hand now, even though we still kind of talk shit. Some of us, not everybody, you know? I'm bold enough to just fucking say it out loud. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Most of the community won't even watch this shit. This shit is for the fan base and the audience that I'm trying to build. Because I'm actually a comic trying to do this shit. What the fuck, nigga? Don't be a whack loser gossiping and worry about other people, nigga. Don't worry about that shit. Just focus on being the best version of yourself. People will talk shit. People will talk shit to your face, behind your back, in the comment section, under their breath, in their thoughts. They'll wish ill on you. Who gives a fuck, nigga? Because even when you're not good, and the words kind of sting because they ring true. Niggas were saying I was bad. They can't say I'm bad now. That same fat fuck was standing in the corner waiting for me to drop the ball, bro. But guess what I did? I brought every comic up like a fucking star, even him, because I respect the game. I don't have to respect you. I respect comedy. You can go fuck yourself. And then guess what he did? He didn't mention my name after I brought him up, but what he did at the end of his set, like he always likes to do, and give it up for Bro, go fuck yourself, bro. And because of shit like this, this actually affects money and all that shit. Because I big up right now the new guys, the new crop of comics in the Canadian comedy scene exist in a much healthier way. I find that the information is flowing between them. They're all sharing each other's posts. They're helping each other. And now the older guys are coming up with this mentality. They're finally, but it's too late for me in the Canadian comedy scene. And I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'll be the villain, bro. They all share each other. They all fucking big each other up. Do they fucking share my shit? I don't give no. Do I care? It doesn't hurt me, bro. I still hit like on their shit because they spent all this time talking shit about me when I was coming up. And now they're trying to get me to be on the in crew or whatever the fuck. And I'm not having it. So it's like, oh, this guy, what's with the villain character? Nigga, you created the villain, bro. You literally created the villain. Like, you created this shit. Now I actually understand what my place is in the comedy game. Because this isn't just in the Canadian comedy scene. Nigga, this isn't just in comedy. This is in every form of art, business, finance, fucking education. This exists everywhere, bro. Because what you experienced in high school, unfortunately, doesn't end. It was like a small preview of what life is. Everybody gossips because they're mentally weak bitches. Because it's harder to look in the mirror and address the things that you have to do to fix your fucking life, to live the life that you want to and deserve to. But that takes work. And that's what people recognize. And that's why you talk shit. Oh, Black Zeus. Oh, you da-da-da-da-da. Why are you the villain character? Well, this is, and guess what? It's time for all the real niggas to fucking come up now. You bitch ass niggas, you're seeing it. It's all falling apart. The social media shit's falling apart. The fakery is falling apart.
Yeah.
Like, even people's come ups are starting to get exposed. Like, however you feel about it, there's a lot of videos now about like Andrew Schultz and shit. You know what I mean? Like, this whole social media wave is whack, bro. We talked about it last week on the episode. Got a bunch of weird comments on that video. People talking a bunch of mess. We were discussing an article that I read about did podcasts ruin the allure of stand-up comedy? And I agreed with it, even though we have a podcast. I still agree with it. And like, bro, I still imagine that once I do actually come up, like, my audience will understand. It's like, oh, I've done this stuff to build out the audience and to get out to the people, but I'm gonna scale back in a way that's still respectful to the audience, so that they still get something. Because I still want to release shit, but it's not necessarily a podcast every week and all this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I finally found a lane. I like doing it with my nigga Dante. Like, we actually created a fucking beautiful studio space. We found a little lane. You know what I mean? There's channels out there talking about comedy left and right, but they're not doing it from the place of comedy. I'm a comedian. So you actually want to get like the inside scoop. Like, this is what the fuck it is. Yeah, I'm in Canada right now, but you can extrapolate this information everywhere. And it's time to get to the States. And the majority of the people that see this podcast and watch our clips and all that shit are all American. So salutes to y'all. What? I was just about to sing like fucking the Star Spangled Banner song. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air. Because that's where the fucking industry is. That's where the money is. And it's a lot easier to find your tribe because there's just so much more people.
Yeah, there's more people for the tribe.
There's more people for the tribe. So it's less of goofballs sitting around doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs and talking shit. Fucking horseshit. Anyways, that was this week's comedy recap. That was the whole fucking episode, and I knew it would be. Yeah, but shout outs to that. I'm happy I got that off my chest. Let's do comedy news this week.
Comedy news?
Yeah, we'll do comedy news, and then we'll do the poll results, and then we'll get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
So again, this being a comedy podcast, every week now, I like to cover at least one trending comedy news story. There is a comedian right now that is making some waves. What's it? David Lucas?
Yeah.
Fat nigga. That oh, bro, and he would roast the shit out of me. He's such a good. Like, do you watch those episodes of Kill Tony?
Yeah.
All right. So if you're not familiar, Kill Tony is a very popular. I don't know why you wouldn't be familiar with it. It's like the #1 fucking poppin' comedy thing right now. It's essentially a live streamed open mic run by a pseudo gay white comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe. Funny dude. Don't know if he's gay or not. Doesn't matter if he is or not. It's just funny. Everybody makes fun of him for it. So whatever. Get your fucking tampons out of your assholes. And he runs his show Kill Tony out of Austin, Texas now. It started at the Comedy Store in LA. They moved it to the Mothership ever since Joe Rogan brought his whole crew out there. Tony's part of his crew. They run it every week, and essentially they bring up comics to do 1 minute of comedy, which is wow, bro. Like, that's fucking abysmal. 1 minute. And he pulls their name randomly out of a bucket. In comedy, it's called a bucket list. And so they literally do a bucket list show. They have some guests that they book. They have regulars. And David Lucas has built himself up to be a regular on this show. Now, this show is very heavily favored, I'll say, by like drunk frat boy white dudes. Think of the Joe Rogan audience. That's essentially the Kill Tony audience. So David Lucas, like we'll get to it at a certain point, but he makes this point where he's like, black people don't really fuck with me too much. And I just want to make the distinction. This is why I make the distinction of Kill Tony is mainly like frat boy white audience. Even the Austin comedy scene right now, from what I understand, I haven't been there myself yet, but a bunch of my homies have gone. And even just from what you hear from other comics who are established and not established, the way they describe it, it's very frat boy, like the comedy scene out there. And if you watch Kill Tony, you get that immediately. Like most comics open up on Kill Tony with like a rape joke or some heavy sexual fucking, some dirty shit. Like it's that type of crowd. So for a black comic like David Lucas to build up his audience, he got famous from that platform. So like I hope he understands why. Like when he says, "Well, I don't know why black people don't fuck with me too much." It's like, well, niggas don't really fuck with Kill Tony like that. But regardless, I'm a comic. I fuck with Kill Tony. It's a dope platform. If you wanted to see comics bomb and get roasted, it's a hilarious platform. The only problem is a lot of the comics that they get to roast them. It's like if you're not a fan of the Joe Rogan community and the comics that he brings on, you might not enjoy it as much. So this nigga just had a set at another comedy club separate to the Kill Tony thing. He recorded it. He put it online, and essentially it caused a lot of controversy because he made a George Floyd joke. And pretty much all the black people in the audience walked out on it. This was obviously in a white town. It was at a comedy club called the Funny Bone, which is, a franchise club in the States, kind of like the Improv where you get them state to state. But yeah, let's bring up the joke first. Let's play the joke.
We never opened that one, did we?
Yes, we did.
No, we opened the interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hold on. I'll pull it up.
Okay, my bad.
No
Well, I'll describe it while he's pulling it up. But he was essentially doing this set, and someone was heckling him, and he started, obviously, like David Lucas is known on the Kill Tony platform for being a guy that roasts everybody. He roasts Tony, the host. He roasts all the famous guests that are the panelists. He roasts the band. He roasts everybody, essentially. And that's kind of what got him notoriety on the show. So I don't think that I don't think if you heckle him, you're really smart. Especially if you look up who this nigga is. Like, I don't know why you'd be in his audience heckling him, knowing who he is on stage.
Sometimes he brings people up to get roasted as well.
Yes, that's also, but that's part of the act. Like he'll bring people up, but I don't want to watch the whole thing.
No.
Nigga try to ruin the whole show, man. All these fucking good ass white people at my show, and you wanted to show them the reason George Floyd got his neck nailed on. It's just a joke, man. I would have never kneeled on George Floyd's neck. I would have shot that nigga. That was.
David Lucas makes the joke to the crowd. Some niggas heckling him, and then he brings up George Floyd. Do you remember how it went?
He said something about if he kneeled on his neck, he wouldn't kneel on him, he'll just shoot him.
I would have shot that nigga.
Yeah, something like that.
And then the whole crowd gasped. The crowd is majority white people, so most of them weren't offended. And then pretty much slowly throughout the rest of the video, all the black people walk up in groups, like in separate groups, and walk out of the show. Like, do you think, like, you not being a comic, let me get your opinion first. Do you think he went too far?
No.
Were you offended?
No.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, see, the problem is that you're still closely associated with comedy. So
yeah, but
you kind of already don't have feelings about this shit.
My thing is, and, we'll maybe go into the whole Patrice thing, but it's like, it's a comedy show. He's not there to be malicious.
Correct.
Right? But yet people take it as a malicious act. Like they take it as if he actually sliced somebody with a sword. But it's just a joke. You know what I mean? Even if it's not a good joke, we'll go into that. But it's like you're in a place where jokes are going to be flying, and like people take it so personally as if he personally attacked them.
Yeah.
And then also I think there's also like a whole grandstanding thing where you get social points if you are outraged and you leave the comedy show, because then you could be like, oh yeah, he said this and I walked out. fuck that nigga. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I obviously agree with you. Like, especially in the context of a comedy club, anything you say on that mic, if you're gonna take that shit seriously, you're dumb. I think, like, as an audience member, if you're gonna be offended, but you've walked into a comedy club, and I would like to know, like, who went to this show, because obviously he's been blowing up, right? So, like, did you not do your research? I think he even brought it up in the video, but he's like, who's coming to my show and not doing research, nigga? This is what I do. I talk crazy, salacious shit. Now, even me, like, I wouldn't really, like, I can't say though, if I thought of a good George Floyd joke, I wouldn't try it, because I definitely would.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, especially as a comic. If you think something is funny, your whole fucking duty is to
fucking try it.
To try it, like, or else what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, I see it like, you ever, like, when you watch the X Games and you see a guy, he's gonna hit the big air ramp and he's gonna try and do like best trick or whatever.
Yeah,
you're trying to stomp something. Like when you watch Nigel Houston, he jumps down like the fucking 12 set.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's trying to land some sick trick. That's kind of how I see comedy. It's like, okay, this is a hard thing to do, but you want to make it as funny as possible, as clean as possible, and then you stomp the landing.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like an extreme
but like
sport.
what he was doing was a riff. So, like, he took a real big riff. He took a real big gamble doing a fucking George Floyd riff and then doubling down. Like, that's him as a comic. That's who he is if you watch this shit. Yeah, that's who David Lucas is as a comic. He was obviously trying to do the shock thing. There's not many black shock comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think I would categorize like Patrice as a shock comic.
No.
That guy was
kinda though. Cause like he's not a shock comic because he's very insightful. But he'll say some stuff that shocks you at first.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a shock comic.
I know.
David Lucas saying I would have shot George Floyd instead of Neon that's shock comedy.
Yeah.
Patrice was never going up there. Patrice was just literally relaying like real information in a funny way.
Yeah, but even Patrice would even say in the beginning he'll say something so egregious to start with and then work back from that. So they're like, I'm not saying he's a shock comic. I agree he's not, but he does shock you at first. And then he's like, okay, hear me out.
Yeah, but that's not what shock comedy is. Just like,
well, shock comedy is just trying to say something for the shock of it.
Yeah,
and
like
leave it there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like Jason Rouse. He's a funny white boy from Canada. He's in the States. He's been in the States forever. He's like my OG.
Okay.
He's like probably the most known shock comic out of Canada, I would say.
Okay.
And he talks about like fisting old grandmas and shit like this. You know what I mean? Like that's
that
like,
even just shocked me.
You're saying like lewd shit
for
the sake of saying lewd shit, but he makes it funny. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I don't know. I don't think any audience should be walking out. Like your reaction is enough.
Yeah.
You know, to a comic, especially like Dave Lucas, I don't know how long he's been doing it, but that reaction is enough for him to know. Like he might double down again, and then like he's taking those liberties. I wouldn't have personally made that joke, but I'll never be a person that says don't try and tell a joke because that doesn't even make sense in my head. And that goes to the whole thing that Patrice was arguing about on that famous Fox News interview that he was doing. Like we won't even pull up the clip anymore because so many people have seen it at this point. But essentially he's defending like some lady is arguing with him that people shouldn't be able to tell anything they want. And then the interviewer is asking him, like the news anchor, he's like, should people be able? Yeah, but isn't a rape joke doomed to fail? And then Patrice is like, I've heard a couple. Come to my show. He's like, come to my show. And it's like, but that's the thing. He's like, and then he goes on to say, is like, good and bad jokes are birthed from the same place.
Yes.
You don't know what's going to be a good or bad joke before you tell it, but you should be able to make the attempt. And that's freedom of speech. That's like the fundamental fucking backbone of the whole freedom of speech argument there. So yeah, man, like, but at the same time, and I even have to take this, right? Like, if there's backlash, you kind of have to stand on that. You kind of have to take it.
I agree.
If you fucked up, you fucked up. Like, you took that chance.
Yep.
And sometimes they hit, but sometimes they miss. And if they miss, like, this is what ends up happening. But at the same time, like, I'm sure this nigga just built an audience off of this controversy. You know, more people are gonna know about him.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking because, you know, he was saying, oh, well, black people don't fuck with me because da-da-da-da. But I'm sure there are black people that might see the whole controversy.
That like
and be
that
like,
shit.
Who's this? And they're like, oh, that wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now he's got black followers.
I personally just don't. I personally think he's obviously right to. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know his audience or not. He knows. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's his audience.
Yeah.
But if he's saying that black people don't really fuck with me too much, like, even for me coming up in Canada, bro, I had to figure this shit out. I had to, because it's all white audiences up here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're performing for majority white audiences and you're not finding niggas, you got to go find niggas, bro.
Yeah.
Because niggas, especially in Canada, they're not going to comedy shows, bro.
Yep.
That's
That's
not
too
some
white.
nigga shit up here, bro. That's really not.
Yeah.
In the States, you have the population that niggas know about. There's enough niggas that know about. But it's so small up here that you really have to go out and find the pockets of fucking immigrants, bro. You got to find them and make sure you perform for them. So, like I mentioned, going back to the whole thing of Kill Tony being a majority, frat boy white audience, and the Austin comedy scene itself, the audiences there are frat, they like the dirty shock comedy. They like the rape jokes and all that shit a lot. You know, you can obviously go out there and do whatever. If you're funny, but they love that shit. And that is the Kill Tony audience. So I don't know why this nigga would say, I don't know why black people don't fuck with me. I just don't get that. Maybe I don't know how long Lucas has been doing comedy, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe he just doesn't get that.
He says it's probably 6 to 8 years, around there, 9
Oh,
years.
this nigga's been doing it, bro.
Yeah.
So he should completely understand that. Maybe he's just saying that because he feels like he has to, or that's just, I don't know. Because for me, it's very obvious. I'm you got famous off of a frat boy audience comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck would your audience be black? And then on top of that, so the clips that are coming out are him roasting back and forth, doing dirty roasts and shit. And yeah, black people love that shit. Black people love dirty humor.
Yeah.
But it's you were telling me he was all deaf digital.
Yeah.
Nigga. That's kind of what he's doing with Kill Tony anyway.
That's exactly what he's doing.
But he was doing it with niggas.
Yes.
The only problem is that platform didn't really blow up the way Kill Tony is.
Yes.
So had it happened that way, maybe, he'd have more black people in his audience.
Yep.
That knows oh, this nigga's coming to say some outlandish roast style shit. Mm-hmm. And maybe he'll make a George Floyd joke that is a little too much, but it's fine because we know what we're here for.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the audience that walked out, pussies, bro. You're at a comedy club. Yeah, okay, the joke was bad or whatever the fuck, but just don't go see that nigga again then. You know what I mean? Don't
But that's what I mean. It's a whole grandstanding thing because you're the person that I stood up and
now you're trying to take the high moral ground. I'm better than you.
I marched with
you should
Dante.
know better. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're fucking Haram Al Bay, bro.
Haru
Haram
El Bay.
Haram Al Bay.
I do think that's also part of it. If you're black, you have to walk out when people do these jokes or else you're not black. And if you're not black, then you're racist and, you're Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, it could be because of the joke. It could be because they just wanted the brownie points.
It's almost like one group of black people stood up and it's all of them were you know what? Yes.
Now's my moment.
And it's February too. Because now the whole thing is this is becoming an online fucking controversy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So people are debating, especially the black community is debating. It's are we making jokes about this? Is this okay?
Yeah.
A lot of people are trying to fucking be nah. I'm bro, if again, in the context of comedy, it's not like this nigga was out in the middle of the street saying this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I very much doubt he feels that sentiment of what he said. It's a joke, bro. You know what I'm saying? So for all of a sudden you to forget that you're in a comedy club and this nigga's I don't know. It's both. I don't know. I'm not mad at the comic. I'm not mad at the audience, but I'm mad at them both. But it's I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. It's when your parents say, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, they give you the...
It's come on, bro. Black people don't fuck with me too much. I don't know why. It's like, nigga, come on, be honest with yourself. Anyways, that's this week's comedy recap and comedy news. Let's wrap this show up with a weekly segment we do here called Poll Results. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're following me on Instagram, then you know every Monday on my Instagram social media feed, that's aka Black Zeus, I post an interactive poll question. We leave it up for 24 hours. The people vote on it, and we discuss the results right here on the show. We also leave the question up on the community page on the YouTube channel for the whole week. There's less engagement right now. We're still building up the channel, so we leave it up for a week on YouTube. So once again, if you see the poll question, go vote. And right now, this week's poll question is, you only get to keep one. Which do you choose? Internet, phones, cameras, and TV. Cameras and TV are one option because I see them combined as powerful as phones or internet on their own. That's why I chose this.
Do phones have cameras on them?
No. That's not just phones, nigga. Stop trying to get all technical about it. Did I say camera phones and all that shit?
No, but
it's either you keep internet, you keep phones,
okay,
means to call each other,
okay,
which I guess if you had the internet, you would have that. You know what I mean? It would be voice over IP or whatever.
Yeah.
Or cameras and TV. Cameras I put in there so that you can have something to watch on TV.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because someone said, why don't you separate cameras and TV? I'm like, well, that kind of, I don't know. That doesn't make sense in my head.
Okay.
Those are too linked to separate them. But yeah, you only get to keep one. Which do you choose? Internet, phones, and cameras and TV were the third option there. Before we get to the results, Dante, how did you vote on this one?
So on this one, I voted cameras and TV.
Really?
But I only really voted on cameras, so I can maybe understand why someone might have wanted them to be split. Because I think at least with a camera, like I'm thinking like old school, like just a film camera, what we had in, you know what I mean? Just that's evidence. That's proof for the future.
Okay.
Physical proof for the future.
Yeah.
That's why I picked that. TV, I could honestly do without. But I'm just talking about an actual like photo camera. I think I'll take that over the internet. Because then if we don't have cameras, what's going to be on the internet?
Oh,
just words?
Articles.
Yeah, but articles with no pictures?
Animations.
Animations of what?
What do you mean? You don't need cameras for animation?
But like video animations, like funny videos?
Well, like shows, Avatar. Yeah, thank you.
They use cameras for that though.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, people are
Well,
mocap.
they don't need to though.
They don't need to. You're right. I would just choose cameras.
You only get to keep one. I think because this came from the conversation we had on last week's episode.
Yeah.
I like creating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like internet is the one I feel like I could get rid of easily.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of cameras and TV or phones. I think phones are the more important one. Because like we need some sort of means for instant communication.
I get that.
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
We need some sort of. That's why I think that's actually the most important one. But then obviously with internet, you have instant communication.
Yes.
But then I think all the negatives that come with the internet, I would rather keep the communication just through the phones and then not have people scrolling their life away.
Can you text on these phones?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
So this is like 2006.
I'll say I'll say Blackberries.
Okay.
You got a Blackberry.
Okay. But those have cameras on them. A Blackberry without
a
camera?
camera. You got a Blackberry without a camera.
Without a camera, okay. Because no cameras exist.
Or you know what? Fuck it, nigga. Like phones have the cameras. It doesn't matter. Because if it's just relegated to just phones.
I would keep
cameras.
If we're just talking, if you only had a house phone, like you know, like the
cell
PG Lang
phones.
phone, like those PG Lang phones.
Well, that's a cell phone.
Yeah, but it's like
I actually wanted to get one of those phones.
Those are pretty sick, actually.
They're not available in Canada. But I love that as a concept.
Yeah.
It's a basic phone It has the screen of like a
Like
Amazon
e-reader.
e-reader.
Yeah.
Like it has that paper screen.
Yeah.
And
So
it
everyone gets one of those.
And it can only text, make calls, and there was one other thing. There's no
Read
apps.
books.
There's no apps.
Yeah.
It had like was there GPS? Maybe GPS.
Probably. I don't
think
know.
There might be GPS on there. And they sold out of those phones. Like,
Yeah.
I would really like to buy one of those. Yeah, I'll say phones, bro.
You'd stay with phones?
I'll say phones. The only thing that makes me want to keep cameras and TVs and shit is like, because then I'd still get to do like comedy specials.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine like comedy specials just go through the phone. Like everything's it's the brand new Chappelle phone special.
So if we have phones, we have radio.
Yes. Yeah, radio is not a part of this because I feel like that's staying. Radio waves and all that shit. Yo, fuck it, bro. I'm going cameras and TV.
You're going cameras and TV?
Yeah. Because I'm already mostly not talking to my family from across the, for like, come on, how often are you talking to people from
we still
across
have
the world?
cars, so you can just drive or
take a boat or a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to coordinate.
can send a
that.
Raven.
It's gonna be hard to coordinate that though.
Yeah.
It's like you can't call them and be like, "Yo, I'm showing up." You fly all the way across the world and they're not there. They're flying over to you.
That's so funny.
Nobody communicated. But yeah, I think it would be more fun to be able to film stuff and
document. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. Documentation. Unless you don't care about because if we want to go.
Well, no, because that's also like now knowing how much fun it's been to get out these ideas that we've been talking about forever, and now we're actually like executing on them. A lot of the filming stuff, and the memories, not memes, that we just put up.
Yep.
Go check out a lot of the videos on our YouTube if you haven't already. We're putting up some fun shit. I'm really proud of, and bringing you guys into the behind the scenes of the come up of a comedian, because that's the whole point of this channel. All right, this is my final answer. I'm sticking with it. I know phones are more important.
Than what?
Than cameras and TV.
Okay, but is being able to communicate something more important than documenting that something?
Yes.
You think so?
Emergencies. Your loved one is dying.
Send a Raven.
Would you rather send a Raven? I mean, like, just to think of that, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair.
You don't get a phone call knowing, and you're out just filming some random bird.
Yeah.
I'm documenting today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get eaten by a bear or some shit.
Yeah, and then some awful shit's happening and you have no way of knowing. But to be fair, also, like, emergencies happen and then people still don't know, even with phones.
Yep.
Right? Like.
Yep. Yeah, because the emergency, if it's that, I mean, the phone's not going to do much aside from notify you.
Fuck it, I'm going cameras and TV. I'm keeping cameras and TV. All right, that's my final answer. Let's get to the results. These are the results. All right, 33% said the internet, 20% said phones, 47% said cameras and TV. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people, next was the internet though. Hard to give that one up. I really like the thing that you said to me last week. It's like, because you immediately went to, okay, so you don't want to use a GPS? You're okay with going back to a map? And I had to sit there and think about it.
I know, you did think about it.
I had to actually sit there and think about it. I'm like, you know what? No, fuck it. I would actually like MapQuest, but that's the internet.
That's the internet.
That's the internet.
You have to.
You actually have to like plot.
That's why I went like this. You have
circle,
to, like,
circle the map.
Yeah, you got to put a ruler on it. Okay, so this is a 4-hour drive.
And you got to like memorize as like a fucking exam. You got to memorize the route. So you're not, because you can't always be looking at the map while you're driving.
Yeah.
So unless you have like a passenger.
Yeah. But I do think our brains would adapt to that. Like, I think we would like that. It would be easy.
To be fair.
We're just lazy today.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like one of the comments in that, did podcast ruin the allure? Was like, because we were talking, but that's where we had the conversation that gave me the idea for this poll question. Mm-hmm. And one of the comments was like, well, you give it up and all this shit. I'm like, well, like, obviously I'm not going to because I don't have to.
Yeah.
The whole question is, like, if we didn't have to go down this route, I truly believe it's what you said. We would have adapted to what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so we've right now adapted to the internet, which has made us fucking lazy.
Yeah.
And giving us anxiety and
Did
depression.
we adapt to the internet, or
Like-
did the internet adapt us?
Dun dun dun. Did we get results on the YouTube?
Ooh, let's check.
I think we did actually. We got some votes. We got some votes. Once again, shout outs, love and respect to all the beautiful people. Thank you to the new subscribers that have just joined. I think we're at like, as of this recording, we're at like 425. So we're just about halfway to 1,000. Once again, once we get to 1,000 on the channel, I'm releasing my comedy special for free. You can buy it right now for just $10, and that's $10 Canadian. So if you're American, that's like 30 cents. I'm going to continue to use that joke. And if you're trying to figure out if I'm even worth getting a comedy special from, I have the documentary on my YouTube channel. You can watch that for free. We just released a new video series that we'll be doing more regularly called Memories, Not Memes. That's like a short recap video from a weekend of comedy that we did together. We got a show coming up in a month, in just over a month. Got a lot of fun comedy-related stuff that will bring you into the world of comedy in a way that's not generic or us throwing on a wig. You know what I mean? And yeah, so you only get to keep one. Which do you choose? Internet, phones, cameras, and TV. These are the YouTube results. 20% said internet, and 80% said cameras and TV. How many votes? 5 votes? All right. So again, we're fluctuating. But salutes to y'all that are voting. Thank you. And it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Even 20% said internet.
Well, that's one person.
Yeah, okay.
I did the math.
I wish you didn't, because then it
My
just
bad.
sounds more lame. But that's fair. Yeah, I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
Dante, you didn't get to talk that much this week. I apologize. I had a lot to get off my chest. All the fake people can go fuck themselves. It's not even about that. Like, just fix yourself, bro. Just be a better person. Don't be garbage to people, regardless of where they are in their career. How about you just like focus in on why you feel how you feel that makes you want to talk shit on people just for being unique, and you'll most likely come out a better person because of it. How about that? But yeah, Dante, any last words?
Yeah, if you ever feel like you're that person where like I guess the people are coming at you for like who you are and all that stuff, like just know like proper people don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't even really need to be worried about it. As they say, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words do not hurt.
Yeah.
These are even like weaker words. You know what I mean? From these people. So, just hold fast.
Hell yeah, bro. Right now, someone's watching this that doesn't like me. Should that bother me, or fucking like who gives a fuck, nigga? And I'm not even just talking about people from my direct comedy community. Online people are gonna be like, yo, this guy's got an ego on him or whatever the fuck. This guy, who gives a fuck, bro? But to specifically my community, it's like, yo, you niggas trying to figure out where the villain came from. Just look in the mirror, you'll figure that one out. A lot of y'all niggas talk shit about the boy, and guess what? I am a comic through and through, and none of that was gonna get to me. Now I'm a good comic, and we're gonna continue to fucking just rocket propel out into the rest of the world. And until then, I love y'all. Thank you once again for being the beautiful people of this podcast. If you want to be a beautiful person, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button, come back next week. That's it. Join up on the Patreon if you want to support that way. You don't even have to do the paid ones. You can just be a free member. We're going to start releasing, like I'm doing the back cataloging right now on the Patreon. Eventually that will be done, and then we'll start releasing regular exclusive content just to that. AKA Black Zeus on all social media. I don't post every 5 seconds, so don't be mad at me. I love y'all. Try and be like good people. Try and be original. Don't be a piece of shit. And even if you are, try and figure out why. You know? Until then, deuces. I've been Black Zeus. This is Black Zeus the Podcast, Season 5, Episode 4. Peace, peace.
Hey yo, it's Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5. Welcome to the show where we talk about life, talk about the come up, and sometimes we fight. But in the end, it ain't a thing, cause we ain't trying to be right. We're just old new niggas with another podcast.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast season 5.